So, Shockwave, what have you brought for me this time?
Lord Megatron, I present to you Scorelash.
Oh God, what happened to my legs? Hey guys, welcome back to Super Report Reviews. My name's Steve, and our Nez is somewhere over there.
Hey.
And today we'll be going over the Transformers Prime Shockwave. But this was a request from the King Called Godzilla 2001, which I really thank you for chiming in the video. Our Nez appreciates it too. And again, if you guys haven't seen the video, I posted a picture of my collection, which I'll have a link up here in the corner. You can go check that out. If you see any figures that you want me to review, just chime in the comments down here around that video, and we'll try to get out a review for it. But anyways, I was actually very excited when they first introduced Shockwave into the Transformers Prime series, which was the flashback episode with RC where they show her getting captured with Cliffjumper and they end up escaping through the portal. But it introduced Shockwave in that, and he was a very menacing character in the TV show. He's a very large character as well, comparatively to Megatron. Like, he's just freaking hulkish. And I just really enjoyed the take on him, and they still kept the one cannon with the Cyclops eye. And it's just, I overall love the design of it in the TV show, and I was very happy when they brought him back for the Beast Hunters part to introduce the Predaking. And pretty much getting away from that, for the packaging, as you can see, there is a lot of the stuff still in the package with the Beast Hunters accessories, because I didn't really care for those when I initially got them, and it's not the way I display on my shelf. But for you guys, I'll actually get out of the package and show it to you guys just to go over it a little more thoroughly. But for the front of the packaging, you got the image of the Predaking here, which is actually, it looks really tiny on there. But that's a conversation for another day. And then he comes with Spinner Hyperflux Cannon, which is sweet. And then for the top of the packaging, not much going on there. For the side of the packaging, you can see right here, it's got a read-up of his bio, which I'll zoom in for you guys real quick. Alright, we good? And for his technical data, I'm actually pretty surprised at how high all these stats are, because usually a lot of these guys are kind of jumbled around, but he's actually pretty well set on those, except for his speed's really, really slow. But in the show, it's not like he really was running around everywhere. He's just more of like the Jason Voorhees, where he just walks at you and tries to murder you, which I thought was neat. And then for the back of the packaging, it just tells you more about his Spinner Hyperflux Cannon and Snap-on Beast Armor, which looks silly on that guy. And then look for your favorite robots on Transformers Prime on the hub, which I'm not actually sure if they play that on there anymore, but it's nice nonetheless. And also, he's Series 2 out and number 3 out of the Voyager classes. And then it just has a nice concept image of him on the side with his Beast Armor attachments. And then the bottom of the packaging just shows some of the old Voyager with the Predaking. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. He's already out, so let's get into the figure. Alright, getting into Shockwave's accessory, which, get out of here, Bruce. For his accessories, he comes with these weird little crab creature-like hands, which are a little bit odd looking, but overall they actually got a decent amount of detailing, and they're made out of this soft rubber, which they're not bad looking per se. I just don't really care to have them actually on the figure. And then for his chest piece, it comes with, which actually is kind of neat because it has this Cycloptean eye, which is really nice, especially because he's a Cyclops as well. So overall, that's actually a nice little touch, and I guess it's made out of this soft rubber, so you don't have to worry about breaking this thing. And it's really nice for kids too, because they don't have to worry about getting hurt on it, even though it's still kind of a point there nonetheless. But I'll show you guys how to get it on there. His first chest piece, there's these little peg holes here, right here in the chest. And all they do is they just slot right in here. And then for his shoulders here, there's a peg hole here. And then you can see right here where the peg is. And you just jam it in there. Maybe. There we go. And then for his other shoulder, do the same. And then here he is with Beast Hunter armor, which
yes, that's
exactly. That's how I feel about this. All right, get this off here. Off to the side. Take him away, Arnez. Well, overall, I am actually very impressed with this figure. Like, initially when I got it, I thought he looked superb. Because overall, the amount of detail on here is fantastic, and I really love the clear plastic here. And especially up here at the top of the head, which is still a little dusty. But back here he has a spot for some light piping, so when you get it near the light, which bring my big light to the front, it actually gets a decent amount of light piping there, which is really nice. Because from the top it doesn't show up too good, but like if you had a light on the back of your display, it shows up very nicely. And then overall, especially with the cannon here, which show it off a little bit, Arnez, if you want to push the button. Whee! That actually works really well. And I thought it was kind of a goofy little gimmick when I first seen it, but as you can see, like when you spin it, he's got this clear piece of plastic in here, which is actually more light piping there, so it lights up really nice in the light. So when you have it spinning, it shows off very well. And overall, I was actually pretty impressed with this way it turned out. And it was a nice way of getting away from the older Voyager weapons from the Prime, which were very weird in my opinion. And I ended up getting some of the aftermarket weapons for those guys. But his actually turned out very nice, even with the giant ears back here. But it's still cool nonetheless. And then for the detailing on his legs here, which are really nice. And then for the back here, he actually has a really nice clean look. Like his backpack isn't very big at all. And then if you want, right here there's a slot hole. And right here for his treads. If I can remember exactly how to pop this off. Failing hard right now.
It's okay, Steve. We're used to it.
Alright, figured it out. Alright, so right here, what you want to do is you pull this out, and it pops the treads out here. And what you can do is you can stick it in right here in the slot. Which, if it's in there really nice, and then you just bring this back down. And what happens is you can't really keep the arm back without it popping up the backpack. But even if you had it from the front, if you wanted to have them like going to the back and looking to the side, it still doesn't look all that bad if you want to keep the thing on. But I'd imagine most people are going to want him having him sitting out with the cannon outstretched, looking like he's about to shoot you, and that is a really nice look. My only real concern with this is with the rubber treads here, is these things wearing a little bit over time and maybe getting a stress fracture and starting to tear right there. So I would just be a little wary of that because it doesn't really bend all that easy. So more or less, I tend to keep it just with the treads locked up in the back here for mine. And then again, if you just want to put it back in, you just lift it up, get this little flap out of the way, you just bring it around, and then tuck it in. Tuck it in, I say. It's not working. There we go. I haven't played with you in a while, buddy. Let me just flop that back down. But again, overall, I think this is probably one of my more favorite looking of the Voyager figures, especially in robot form, because it's just a very nice, clean look. And it's probably one of the best representations of him from the TV show. And then getting into his articulation, he has a swivel at the head. At his shoulders, they can move back and forth. And they have a bit of a pivot here, which is nice. And then also at his arms here, they can move up and down, which is really nice, so it gives you a nice bit of play. He has a rotation here at the bicep, but it's a little bit hard to do because he also has a rotation here at the gun, and also has a bend at the elbow joint here, and then again, and then same for this arm, and then for his hand here, it is on a ball joint, so you get a little bit of rotation on it, but mine's really stiff. And they can move in and out. Nothing here at the waist. And then at the upper part of his legs here, they can move back and forth, move in and out, and they're on this. Actually, it's a really nice ratchet joint. It's not like a lot of clank either, which is really awesome. And then at his knees, they can bend back and forth, which is also on a ratchet joint. Rotate. And not too much here at the foot. Like you could bring it down, but I don't know why you really want to, but it's an option nonetheless. So overall, I really love this guy in this form, but let's get him into his vehicle form and see how that looks. And for some quick comparison, here's Shockwave in robot form compared next to the Fall of Cybertron Shockwave. And for a quick comparison, here's Shockwave compared next to the Dark of the Moon Shockwave, which I'm actually really impressed that this, even though this guy's newer, he's actually a much larger figure overall. And here he is compared next to the Generation 1 Shockwave, which is, holy crap, this guy's huge. And here he is compared next to Lord Megatron from Transformers Prime, which I actually think this is a very nice scale. And here's Shockwave in vehicle form, which I actually don't think looks all too bad. I've heard a lot of reviewers complain about him just because he's a little bit awkward looking, and I'll get into that in a second. But first and foremost, I'm going to show you guys how to get on his accessories, which the faceplate just literally goes on the exact same way it went on his chest, where you just stick it into the pegs here. I just got to kind of wedge it in here. And there we go. And then on his legs here, when you flip them down, it's a lot easier to see the peg holes down here. And then you just stick the peg in there. Just wedge it in. Same with on the other foot. And then here he is with this Cycloptean crab look. Which, personally to me, I think it actually looks a lot better on him in vehicle form than it does in robot form, because it's just a really goofy look for him in robot form. And for here, it actually kind of makes him look like a creature, because furthermore, it just looks like these are kind of like arms, and he's ready to get you, and he's got this cannon up here ready to shoot you in the face. And overall, I think it just works a lot better on here, even though I still personally don't really care for them all that much, so I was going to get him out of here. But going over the vehicle form, overall, again, like I said, I don't really think it's all that bad. The only problem is I wish some of these legs would actually stay in a little bit more securely than they do, because it just kind of sits flushly, so sometimes messing around with it, they'll start to bend a little bit, as you guys are seeing. Which is okay, because furthermore, like if you're playing around with it, like say you just want to bring him around, it makes it look like he's about ready to turn. You can kind of flip the leg out a little bit, so you can work with it. Personally, for me, some of the more weirder looks, and I've seen some other reviewers like at the bottom is complaining about stuff like this, is that he's really kind of awkward looking, because as you can see, his arm just kind of wraps around up top here. So it's missing a segment over here, and then down here is where his other arm goes. So the segment that maybe could have hid somewhere up here is now underneath, and his hand just kind of tangles here, and there's not really any good way of hiding that. So as you see, if you're looking at it from the front, you can literally just see his hands just kind of reaching around from underneath. So that's a little bit ugly, and then he has a decent amount of gapping as well, because here for his arms you can see there's the hole here, and then back here there's a lot of empty space here. This ain't bringing him around. It's just, he's a very open looking figure. Another weird thing is just the way his head sits here on the back, because it just looks like he's kind of depressed and ashamed of himself in this form, so he's just kind of staring down at the ground like, oh. But overall, I don't think it's all that bad, to be honest, because probably the way they had to engineer this anyways, it would have involved a lot of gapping anyways, and them trying to maybe fill in these areas and make this form look a little bit better would have taken away from the robot form. So for that, I'm happy that they didn't do that, because the robot form is fantastic. And still, there's a lot of things that I still really like about this form, because it's not really supposed to look like anything Earth-based anyways. So it's supposed to be a Cybertronian tank and not of this world, so I think it's okay that it looks a little bit funny with the way it's not symmetrical. And I really like the way that the legs came across on the front here to make the front tires, and with the tank treads on the back. I think that's really neat, and the way the gun sits up here, and I still am very impressed with the light piping that's on this thing, because it has this clear piece of plastic on here, so when it's spinning it just brightens up a lot, so that looks really nice. And the way the chest visor or the chest plate came across to make the window for the tank here, so I think it looks pretty cool. And overall, I actually give this vehicle a pass in this form. And if you thought he looked weird, here he is compared next to the Deluxe Fall of Cybertron Shockwave. And here he is compared next to the Gen 1 Shockwave, which again, this thing's huge. And here he is compared next to the Dark of the Moon Shockwave. And here he is compared next to Lord Megatron. Overall with Shockwave here, I am very happy with the way he turned out. I was very happy when I got him, still am now. I think his robot form looks amazing, and his vehicle form, not quite as amazing, but it's still passable nonetheless. And even with the goofy accessories that he comes with, I think overall it looks fine on him if you really want to. And especially, it's nice that he doesn't really need the option like a lot of the other Beast Hunter characters. You're just kind of stuck with it. And even with Smokescreen, you had to live with the pegs and stuff if you didn't want that stuff on him. While on him, it's not even noticeable barely that where they actually go to begin with. So overall, I think they did a fantastic job on this guy. And if you guys like Shockwave or a big fan of Transformers Prime, I think this guy is a must-have figure. But what do you guys think? Are you guys a big fan of the Decepticon Scientist? Do you guys like Transformers Prime? Or are you guys just not a fan of toy guns? Please let us know in the comments. We'll have pictures of them on Facebook if you want to click the link description below. And if you like this video and you want to see more stuff like this, please give us a like, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.